Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, won so many awards.
And the Oscar goes to Parasite.
It was fantastic. Does Mickey 17 live up to the hype? That's the question we're going to ask in this review. From here on out, we've got spoilers. How we rate movies is based off of excitement and quality. Excitement is basically, was it entertaining for you? How's the action? Was it funny? Those types of things. So for quality, it's more of those finer details. How's the cinematography, story, the acting, music, nitpicky things of the movie. We're going to start with story. So, Josh, when you watched Mickey 17, what did you think of going into this movie?
I love the concepts it covers. Nothing like any other movie I've seen. It made me question some things I think that the director is trying to get at. So I did enjoy that. Mickey 17, he's obviously, as the trailer suggests, expendable. So he's a clone. He's the 17th one. The movie's about him. Something that's expendable, but almost like a human. Can you treat them as a lesser quality person? As a viewer, feel bad for Mickey. You kind of question ethically if that's the right thing to do. So I think there's some irony, which in Parasite, I think the social class had some irony as well. So this seems like a very serious endeavor for humanity. You know, and these characters, none of them are really good or smart people. And that was intentional. Like Mark Ruffalo is the marshal. Congress thought he was an idiot. And he's in charge of this operation. And Mickey, everyone on the ship, all of them kind of are like, they've got problems. And these are the people that are selected for this mission. So it's kind of funny how these are the people leading this crew. And they're written in a way where you could relate to them. You might not like them, which is not to our preference, but I will say they were well written. It's set out to be a satire movie. It didn't take itself too seriously, so I don't have as much issue narratively how it was covered. Most people just wanted a more serious movie based on it being a sci-fi from this director.
The things that we were looking for, where we saw with Parasite, where they had the excellent social constructs and a fantastic story message of just how the plot and characters work together, that was the part that was missing to make it a masterpiece.
Yep.
If that was properly done, that's what set it apart.
And especially for the marketing, because when they did the trailer, they promoted the director of Parasite.
Right.
So it's like, okay, we're going to get a Parasite type of movie.
Right.
And that, yeah, it definitely didn't hit.
It really makes you wrestle with the concept of death and the value of life. The Expendables, like they're valued as someone less than. Death is seen as something as not as big of a thing, but you see Mickey still constantly struggle through death. I thought that was incredibly interesting.
What I liked about this movie, when it comes to the cloning process, it is different because each clone had a different personality. Whereas like in Invincible, we have that one character. The whole thing is figuring out like, I'm the original. No, I'm the original. And this one was kind of like, no, there's a personality between each one because it's the first of its kind type of technology.
And I really liked how Mickey, you get to see his conflict with pressing that button. He thinks he killed his mom. You know, it has a full circle moment near the end. He gets to delete the printer. Throughout the movie, you get to see him, you know, value his own life, have his own desires, and you can feel for him. You feel his conflict. I just really liked how that was executed. I mean, the deaths that they wanted Mickey to experiment, I thought those were funny. When he gets on the planet, all right, take off your mask.
Mickey, deep breaths, fill your lungs. Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air,
and you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around.
All the viruses.
So good?
There really was an unknown virus in the air.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, when his arm is like, can you take off your glove? And so we could see that. Wow.
Oh, wow. Did you see that?
His hand gets cut off?
Yeah, that was funny. So now on to cinematography. But before we move on, was there anything in the story that you liked? Comment below. Most movies, if you notice, that they have like, it's more of like a widescreen where they have the black bars. This one, every single part of the frame is being used. Just like if you look at Jurassic Park is a full frame movie. And most of the newer Jurassic Parks, they have a different aspect ratio. This one, it's the same thing like Jurassic Park. It shows how large something is and how small Mickey is. So I do like that every shot, there was a purpose behind it. It was well done. Cinematography was really, really good. That's definitely a plus for me on that movie. So now let's move on to acting. And I think for this movie, Robert Pattinson is a fantastic actor, and it shows his range a little bit on this one.
Yeah,
and it was great.
His use of his voice.
I taste fine.
It was just, it seemed like someone dubbed their voice over him. Like that's how well it was done.
I think it was really good. Stephen Yeun, Robert Pattinson, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette. They all delivered very good performances. You get to see a wide range of emotions. Yeah, that was really well done.
And I will say, I agree. Mark Ruffalo, I think his character was perfection. One thing I did really like with Mickey 18 is they changed the one little tooth. It was a really subtle thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys saw any behind the scene things. They originally tried doing all kinds of acne and making his face look all weird. It was that one little thing that it's small enough, but you can tell it's someone else. I thought that was also great with Mark Ruffalo with his extended teeth. It just made him look hilarious, and that kind of added to the satirical element of him being just kind of a fool of a politician.
There are some things that I was not a huge fan of, and that's going to bring my rating down. There's a lot of language. There's over 70 uses of the F word. Not a huge fan of that. There was definitely some weird sex scenes. I wouldn't recommend this movie, especially going to a movie theater. I wouldn't waste your money. It's an interesting concept, don't get me wrong. It's a satire sci-fi film. That's what it is. I just wouldn't recommend it. I would not say go watch this movie.
I think this movie, for a recommendation standpoint, it's not a movie I'm going to recommend to my parents. Yeah. Only a movie that if you like sci-fi and you're not afraid of that language or uncomfortable scenes, then you'd probably like it. But to the mass audience, yeah, not a movie you have to see in theaters. It's not a masterpiece.
It was a fun time. There was a lot of times to laugh. But for me, it just wasn't worth all of the language.
So now on to our final ratings. I am bringing this movie down to maybe like a 4.5 for entertainment. Like I said, cinematography, excellent. As far as satire sci-fi film, I think it was done very well. For quality, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Again, I didn't really appreciate a lot of the crude language used in it, so that heavily pulls down the entertainment aspect for me. So for an entertainment, I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. And for quality, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
It was a very entertainment movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And then quality, that's where I'm going to detract from the sexual scenes and excessive use of swearing. That'll bring it down to a 6 out of 10 in quality.
So these are our final ratings for Mickey 17. Comment below, what are your guys' opinions? Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next video.